Hey, Mom. I'm fine. I'm about to go into that meeting that's on the computer with the city for the animal, the ASAC. So I'm going to be in that for next hour at least. So I'll call you as soon as that's over. It was okay. I haven't heard back. I think that the attorney got a hold of John Simmons, I hope, and I haven't heard back yet. So I have faith that he'll take the case. I just have
Good evening, everybody. We're still a minute to start time. I have the bad news that we may not reach quorum. I think only 4 folks have confirmed, 4 members. We'll give it a moment.
Hi, Chris.
Hello,
Can
good
you hear?
evening.
Hey, good evening.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Can I ask that the committee members turn your cameras on, please? Okay, well, we can begin. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is a meeting of the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee for November 13th, 2024. It is 6:01 p.m. Item number 1 is the call to order and establish quorum. Maribel, can you please read the roll for us? It doesn't look good.
Good evening. I believe we did reach quorum, but let me go ahead and take roll.
Did we make it
Yes.
in the end? Okay.
Yes. Okay, Eileen Mendoza. Ruby Montana. Sandra DiFrancesco.
I'm here.
Terry Bro. Alejandra Valdez. Barbara Candelaria. Mary Bartucci.
Here, present.
Okay, Stephanie Frias.
Here.
Chris Canales.
Present.
And our newest member is Raquel, Dr. Raquel Ellis. And I see Eileen, so we do have quorum.
Sorry.
Do we have it without
So-
Dr. Ellis? We need a quorum of people on camera.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Let me
God.
see if she can get up.
Let me figure out how to do that.
There she is.
I hear.
All right, welcome. Yes, just a reminder, the committee members are required to have the camera on for the entirety of the meeting. It's just what state law requires of us if we have a virtual meeting. So let's all keep it
I'm
on because
still
we are right at quorum.
I'm still seeing patients, so you may see the wall and I may mute you, but I'm here.
Okay. We'll have Carlos, Mr. Armendariz, is that okay? I believe the members have to appear.
Don't worry about it. I'll just tell the client. It's okay. Not a big deal.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, you might be bailed out here because Mr. Bro just joined, and then we'll be at quorum +1, I think.
Yeah, the members have to appear, Chris.
Okay, I thought so.
So we need to get at least 6 people on camera.
And I will stall for 1 more minute here while we can get Mr. Bro on camera.
Okay, think I'm here, but let me
You can
see
hear
where
you,
the
Terry. You
camera's at.
just, yeah, that's it.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Maybe I'm smart enough to get on. Oh, okay, I see now. There we go.
All right,
Oh.
perfect. So we should be A-okay now. Well, some cameras just went off again. Make sure we're at 6 on camera before we continue. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We can move then to item number 2. This is discussion and action approval of the minutes for the October 9th, 2024 meeting. They're included as backup to the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Approve.
I see a motion from Terry. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Terry. Oh, okay. Eileen, I heard you. So motion from Terry and a second from Eileen to approve the October 9th, 2024 meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are passed unanimously. We can move then to item number 3, reports. Support the City of El Paso's initiative to reach and sustain a 90% or greater live release rate by 2025. Item 3A is the chair report. So I will start with just an update about a program that we talked about in the past, which is the pet pantries. I can't remember how much of an update we gave last time, but I'm pleased to report again the libraries have given a final yes to pet pantries, essentially at every one of the library locations. And so the El Paso Community Foundation we're working with them for the purchase of the actual pantries. We're looking at some metal cabinets. So these will be located at the exterior of the library. Library staff will open it in the morning. They will not be open 24 hours just for some security reasons, but they'll secure them at the library closing time. But otherwise, they will be open. We're looking at the possibility of doing some sort of tethered mobile microchip scanner that can be, tethered and live there with the cabinet. And then the community foundation is going to work with us on setting up a pet food and supply drive over the holidays to, bring in some supplies to seed these pet pantries, for the beginning, and then hopefully we can keep those going with donations that come in throughout the year. So I'm super excited. The libraries were really excited. They think it's a great service that they can add to all the things that they already do. And then I know the community foundation is very excited. This was an idea that came initially from Tess Passero, who is at the community foundation, is also very involved with rescue runners and involved at the shelter. So yeah, we're super excited about this program, and I think it all came together very neatly. So everybody's happy. And then a second update, I drive past it just about every day and stop by to take a look. Construction is ongoing at the West Side Adoption Center. That phase 1, so there's again, for anybody who's new, we called it kind of phase 0, where the animals are located currently. It was a temporary improvement to prep it for the dogs that are there now. But phase 1 of the construction is the upper level, the building that looks like a Pizza Hut. They're building out the parking lot. It's basically an entire gut renovation of that building. And it'll be some of the primary shelter space. I believe it's both dogs and cats. And as soon as that's open, the animals will move from the lower level up to the upper level that's completed, and we'll work on phase 2 down at the lower level. Maybe some other auxiliary spaces, and I think a veterinary suite is what is planned for down there as well. So really exciting, and they're working through it pretty fast. So you can see it coming along. If you ever are driving by in the Mesa Hills area, you can swing by and take a look. It's starting to look really good. And then, as I like to do when we have a new member, if you'd like to take a minute and give a brief introduction. I know you have clients there, but if you can spare a little time for us, just a little bit about who you are and why you're interested in serving, and I'll say in advance, thank you for committing to serve on the committee.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ellis. I work at El Paso Animal Urgent Care West in Vista Hills, and have grown to have a very close relationship with animal services and have very much enjoyed being of service to them and my community.
Well, thank you. We're very glad to have you. Are there any comments related to item 3A, chair report?
I have one comment, Representative. Just wanted to.
Yep, go ahead.
Mention, yes, sir. That really nice to know that bond passed for animal services.
Yes, that was the county Proposition E, I believe, passed for the funding of the county's animal shelter. I know they were very excited about that, and it's quite a large undertaking for them. So it'll be a big project, and we'll have another companion animal shelter. Not run by the city. It'll be a county facility, but I think it's a great step for just more space and better service for the animals. Thank you. Anyone else with comments on item 3A? Okay, we can then
Chris?
move.
I guess you didn't see my hand up. Can you see me?
I can see you. Yep, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
If you can use the raise hand function, that'll flash for me. I'll see it.
Okay.
But then you're good now. Go ahead.
Okay. Just quickly.
Mhm.
So the funding for the West Side Shelter, that's set in place. That's not gonna just all of a sudden stop.
Correct.
It's set in place.
Yeah, those were
And-
federal funds that are already encumbered for that purpose. Yeah.
Okay, and then the next question, and I guess depending on who's mayor and all that other good stuff, and the new city reps coming in, it depends on what our budget is going to be later on, correct?
So repeat the first part of that. You mean like
Okay.
ongoing main operations budget for that location?
Well, I guess I just wanted to inquire that the budget for the shelter is set, and you said, yeah, it was set in stone, but the
For the
yearly
construction.
budget, yeah, okay. And then the yearly budget will be something different depending on the election and all that other stuff, depending on,
Sorry, I have fosters who are going a little crazy with it. Yes, the budget is set annually by the city council, so you know that by necessity happens year to year. But we did already, like we've already included an increase in the operations budget
okay,
in this year's budget, for example, to fund the eventual operation there at the West Side Shelter. So
okay, okay,
yeah, we've already rolled that in, so we're ready for it as soon as they're ready to continue. I mean, we already have staff working there at the
Okay.
at the lower level,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's ready to scale up as they need the additional staff there.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Mhm. All right, any other comments on item 3A?
Chris,
Mary?
I have a
Yeah,
quick
go ahead.
question. I should know this answer, but so the West Side Animal Adoption Program Center is different than the county facility that will be on the west side? Those are different facilities or the same?
So I don't know that the county facility location is set in stone yet.
Oh,
but,
I see. Okay,
But
Okay.
correct, yeah, the
okay,
West Side Adoption Center is 100% a city-owned facility.
okay.
Yeah, we purchased that using ARPA funds, COVID recovery money.
Yep, yep.
And the construction contract is funded by that same funding source. So that's 100% a city facility.
Right.
And the county facility that, we just, the public just passed the bond funds for, that'll be something totally separate. I imagine it'll be outside of the city limit. It doesn't have to be, but I think that's probably what'll end up happening.
Okay, right. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of
Thanks.
course.
Thanks.
All right, any others? Okay, we can move then to item 3B. This is El Paso Animal Services October update and statistics. Mr. Kevshul will present the director's report. Welcome, Terry.
All right. Sorry about that. Having a hard time finding my buttons to here though. Got them all now. Hopefully y'all can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
All right. So again, just for clarification, Terry Kepschel, Animal Services Director. This is our Animal Services Director's report for, this is the November report for the October stats. So move it along here. This is our intakes. Again, intake by age, canines and felines only. So total intakes for the month of October was 2,242 animals into the shelter. And by stray at large, that was 1,693. Owner surrenders were 51 across the board. Owner requested use 6, 87 transfers, and others were 405. Now compare that to the previous 2 months, August, September. So again, at the bottom, you can see those circles there. It's been fairly consistent. So 2119 intakes back in August 2006 in September, and 2242 this last month. The stray intakes, again, 1742 before, 1611 and 1693 in October. You see a increase there a little bit from last month on our canine intakes. It was 794 strays as opposed to 836. And you go straight down those columns there, it has totals for canine and felines. So the felines, we typically would hope to see those decrease at this time of year, but we're still getting a lot in. But a portion of those coming in this last month were also due to increase in some TNRs. We had an event, Spayathon, which I'll get into a little bit later as well. These are our outcomes now. So again, this is the high level, or actually it's a more granular level because it's showing the adults, juveniles, unknown age for the canines and felines. Again, the total outcomes were 2,356. That's both positive and negative outcomes. Our adoptions, we did extremely well this month. It was 998 total adoptions. If you add the other animals that we do get into the shelter, we did break 1,000, over 1,000 adoptions for the month. That includes some rabbits and guinea pigs, and I think a pig and those types of things that we got in last month. But so over 1,000 adoptions. So we were very busy. The return to owners went pretty well as well, 222. Again, most of those are coming by way of the canines. Those TNRs, we did, again, 518 total. Again, that's a little bit help with the that Spayathon, along with those adoptions, helped tremendously on those numbers. Died in care was 118. Total shelter euthanasia is 232. And comparing that to the previous couple months, whoops. Again, you'll see back in August, our total adoptions were 742, then 805 in September, and 998 in October. So I believe that was like the highest we've had in quite some time. So that was a very big achievement by staff, volunteers, everybody coming in and help out with those things. The return to owners, 222. 172 the previous month and 219 back in August. So they've been staying up a little bit higher than we've seen in the past year. So we're doing a lot more TNR or RTOs, getting those pets back to the owners. We're doing much better job than last year. The TNRs, again, 518, 350 the previous month, which was a very good number, and then 301 the month before that. Died 118 compared to 137 the month before, and euthanasia is still up there, higher than what we would want it, is 232 total, 213 the month before, and then 263 back in August. Here's our, you'll see a slight decrease from our previous month on our total number of pets out in foster. So we started 337 new feline, 380 new canine, completed 413 feline and 455 canine. So those completions are higher than started, which is a great thing to help keep those foster numbers under control. These are our euthanasia numbers. The number one reason for euthanasia was infectious disease, followed by trauma, then non-infectious, followed by behavior, then owner requested. The chart on the right there breaks it down between cats and dogs, and total 241 euthanasias. This is the euthanasia for behavior. We've had a steady decline since July, which is another goal of ours, is to bring that down as low as we can as well. So it has decreased over the past few months. These are the died breakdowns. Again, still the primary reason is failure to thrive, both in the shelter and out in foster. Most of those coming by way of the cats, and that's going to be those young kittens still coming into the shelter that I mentioned earlier. As the months get cooler, we typically see that those intakes are reduced, but we've seen a pretty steady amount of kittens and puppies still coming into the shelter. Our live release for the month of October, we ended at 84%, which is the past 2 months we were at 82%. So we saw that 2% increase, which is also, something that we're striving to get to that 90% still and being able to sustain that. This is that look of that same number that our live releases over the calendar year. So starting in January, so it's that darker gray line is where we're at now. You see the 82, 82, and 84, getting closer to the last year's number of that we had a little bit of success going last year as well. And the same numbers, but looking at it at the fiscal year. So 2025 average right now, we're at 83.02%. Last year, for our fiscal year of 2024, we were at 77.27% for the entire year. These are the same numbers that we looked at, only not as well developed. So these are the raw numbers basically. So again, we ended the month at 84.06. You'll see the intake on there was 2,242. Last year, same time period, we were a little bit better at 85.64%, but we only brought in 1,438. So about 1,000 less animals coming into the shelter. And again, the hard work of staff and everybody working on this, we're able to keep really close to getting that live release at a good number. Total intakes again to 2,242. 916 of those coming by way of just coming to the shelter. Field intake 667, and then other intakes 659. Some highlights here. We just had this first one here, the wellness clinic. It's probably going to be the last one for the year due to weather. We typically taper those off as time goes, it gets colder, the weather gets worse. So we just had that event. It went very well. We provided over 500 vaccines, microchips to the public at no cost. And then we have the Thanksgiving holiday meals. We have volunteers be working on giving holiday meals to the pets in our care. So they'll be working at doing meals at the shelter itself, the main shelter, on November 27th. And then the leftover meals they'll take to the other facilities to get those out. And we can't do any of this without support of volunteers, the Double Dog Bakery who's supplying that, and rescue runners also helping distribute these as well. And again, more upcoming events that we have throughout the month. We never stopped giving out those microchips, doing those all the time, mobile adoption events, the different education events, and those are all on our website under the calendar. You just click on whatever you want and it'll give you more details about those various events. I'm going to go to the next thing. I didn't add this to the report that I sent out. I can have this sent to everybody as well. I mentioned earlier the Spayathon. So on October 17th to the 21st, we did have a Spayathon at the shelter. We utilized our shelter surgery suite as well as the one at our Mission Valley Adoption Center area, our clinic out there. We utilized that as well for a bunch of the TNR cats. So again, it was Animal Services along with Operation Kindness. Their veterinarians came in, and they come from different parts of the United States. And Petco Love and the El Paso Community Foundation helped fund getting these veterinarians here to provide these surgeries for us. They were able to, so again, community cat support, over 200 community cats. So when we saw those cats coming in and all those over 500 TNRs done, this was a big portion of that, being able to get that done in those few days. The TNR cat program was even less of those days. So we were able to get a lot of those cats, over 200 again, so that they're spayed, neutered, back out in the community, no longer reproducing, but still living happy, healthy lives. We had the shelter backlog. A lot of those were taken care of, as well as a lot of our foster backlog. The fosters that we focused in on were those ones that were foster to adopt. Again, they're out in foster. The only thing that they're pending is that final spay neuter surgery, which is required by law before we can adopt them out.
Well,
We also helped out our rescue partners. We do these. Sorry, get my cat down. We do a bunch of the rescues. Also needed some support, and we want to be good partners with everybody. So we let them know, and they were part of this no cost, so that they could adopt more animals out as well. And again, it's good just like us as a animal welfare organization, they are also required to make sure that the pets are spayed, neutered before they adopt them out as well. It's not just the city that does that, and that's a state law. So any animal welfare organization is required to have them spayed, neutered before they adopt out. So again, some of those partnering agencies or rescue partners are listed at the bottom there. The Embrace, Ragamuffins, Mutt Love, Enchanted Pass, Three Crazy Dog Ladies, West Texas Tails, and Golden Retrievers. They all were able to take advantage of those vets coming into town. So again, over 554 pets spayed and neutered. We had 3 visiting vet teams. That include vet techs and the veterinarians. We did over 100, we're right at 170 dogs, 384 cats. You can see the staff numbers, 35 to 80 of our staff, their staff, along with volunteers helping get this done. And again, we just want to thank our partners, Operation Kindness, Petco Love, the El Paso Community Foundation. And again, a lot of this we can't do without these volunteers coming in as well. So with that, I will end the presentation, go back to the other one if I can. And that was it. And if, like I said, if you want that second little piece that I didn't send that with it, I forgot to add it in there. I can send that out to Maribel, and she can get that to you all if you want that as well.
Yeah, perfect, Terry. Thank you. Any comments on 3B? I don't see anyone with hands raised. Oh, Eileen, go ahead.
I just had a quick question. I usually follow everything social pretty quickly. I haven't seen anything on that, the spay neuter, the spayathon. I mean, when it happened, yes, but as far as all the results that you're showing us, will those be presented to the community in some way to kind of highlight that, you know, things are being done?
I would have hoped they're already done. I could double check with Michelle, make sure that it is out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To know.
No, I agree.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Eileen. I saw like they posted when it was happening, but I don't think that I haven't seen a recap, which would be really nice because it was a really successful event.
Make sure we get that done.
Mm-hmm. And I'll comment and say, Terry, congratulations on the number of adoptions as well. I know I saw that was shared. It's a big number of adoptions in 1 month. So, proud of the team for working really hard to get the animals out into good homes.
Yes, thank you for that. That is, yeah. So again, that's our goal is to get those positive outcomes up. You'll see, I mean, you can see that we're bringing lots of pets into the shelter, but that goal is those positive outcomes and reducing those negative ones. And adoptions is one of the primary ways of doing that.
Yep. All right. Any other comments? Anything from the new member that's joined with Barbara? Okay, I hear none. I think we can move then to item number 4. This is call to the public. We did not have anyone sign up in advance. Was there anyone present who wanted to address the committee and call to the public? All right, I don't hear anybody. We can move then to item number 5. It's the main agenda. 5A is research and advise on effective ordinances and policies to improve overall health, welfare, and safety for animals. And item 5A1 is discussion on presentation on main shelter improvement progress report. This one comes to us from Eileen. Eileen, you ready? Go ahead. You hear me, Eileen?
Can you say that again?
Yeah, this one was, I think, an item that you posted, discussion on presentation on main shelter improvement progress report.
Oh, no, that was a question on if they could give us an update on the work that's being done in the back of the shelter towards the OK Corrals and Mountain View. Because it's where we just started running them a couple weeks ago, those dogs in the back OK Corral, but we hadn't been able to get to them. And so I was wanting an update on that back section to see if it's how much longer it's going to be, I guess, under construction, or what at one point I thought there was going to be another building back there, and then I heard it was going to just be outside kennels, and now I think it's just going to be a ponding area. So I just didn't know exactly where that ended up. It was more a question.
Understood. Terry, are you able to give an update now?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll give a quick brief update, and then I've got Don online. He can give an update on the shelter expansion. The way we were looking at was, again, Eileen already mentioned that we've given an update on Socorro and the West Side adoption. So we were going to provide some updates that happened at the shelter. But real briefly on the other items that you just mentioned were, there is a gate on the side over there by OK Corral that we installed maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. That can be utilized to access the dogs in OK instead of having to go around in front of Mountain View. So that's one way that we have it. But you're correct. It's at one time there was going to be a new building and a shelter kennel expansion at the shelter, but that was nixed for the West Side Adoption Center. So those fundings now, that's where those fundings went, to the West Side Adoption Center. The drainage, that ponding area, that's part of the water companies, their expansion and improvements on that water ponding area. So they're doing that. And once that's done, that's a part of it that Don will address as well. But once that's done, that's going to free up some of the areas at the shelter. So sometime in the future, possibly we could add, like on the side, there's a small ponding area on the side of our building. So that would no longer be needed. So we could potentially get that filled in and add a parking lot there. And then same in the backside, either add another storage building, or at least add some asphalt in there and stuff too. But those funds went away when it moved over to the West Side Adoption Center, if that makes sense. And do you know which gate I'm talking about on the side in the parking lot?
Yeah, actually, okay. We've been using it, and so we have people lining up in the parking lot, and then they're kind of going around traffic as traffic is coming in. So that's why I was wondering if this is just like a temporary situation for us to be able to get back there to them. Or
yeah, that's also, so that's, yeah, once they get that other construction done, yeah, for sure we could utilize all that again too. But right now that big machinery and stuff is still moving out there, and those types of things. So, but they're gonna add a new wall to that and everything. So we'll have less access. You know how you used to be able to walk pretty far around the ponding area. We won't have access to that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, that's not so much. It's just as long as we can get through, so that we're not having to use the parking lot area, is just probably primary.
Right. Okay. So,
but it's still like months off, year?
Oh, it's I believe it's like a not till Don will have a better
Okay,
message on that, but yeah, it's still a ways away. So I don't know if you want to let Don just provide those photos and updates on what happened to the shelter, our existing shelter, to give that as well.
Sure. Barbara, you had your hand up. Do you want to ask a question first, and then we can bring it on in?
Well, it was just going to be on the time frame, and hopefully it was going to be a little sooner than how long it took our air conditioning to get done at the shelter. But you said Adon would explain all that, but I'm just hoping the time frame's a little quicker.
For the ponding area?
Yes.
Yeah, so the ponding, that's their thing. It's going to be a long time, but shouldn't be as long as our air conditioner did. But again, it's not going to add much to the shelter. It's just going to give us a different walking space of what we have now. So, but
okay.
Don's pulling that up.
Hi, Don. Welcome. Oh, Don, we can see the presentation. Can't really hear you. You sound far away. I'll give them a second to troubleshoot here. Yeah, still nothing in that. Let's see. All right. Sorry, we'll give him a minute. Looks like he dropped off. He'll probably rejoin. Having a problem.
How's that? Can you all hear me better now?
Ah, there you are. Perfect.
Okay, so as I was mentioning, the updates that I'm going to provide right now are primarily surrounding the HVAC project that we had over the course of the last year and a half, or nearly 2 years. But I will touch on some of the questions you all had regarding the timelines.
Don, there's a couple of new folks. Can you just introduce yourself at the here?
Sure. My name is Adan Parra. I'm the operations manager for El Paso Animal Services.
Thank you.
Okay, so here y'all can see this is an aerial shot of the facility. You'll see those circular fans dotted throughout the roofs. Those are now 17 brand new HVAC units, heating and cooling, and also air ventilation. These are individualized units for certain areas of the shelter, especially the quarantine and sick areas. And you'll see there, I put a couple of bullet points as far as why these are better for us. They're going to allow us up to 100% air circulation. So that means that we're getting constant air filtered through and taken out of those spaces and exhausted out into the environment, as opposed to having one main system that services the entire facility. So as I mentioned there at the bottom, the increase in biosecurity is very important to us and valuable, and one of the biggest key points as far as why this was done to begin with. But it also gives us more individualized temperature control. Sometimes we have some areas where there are animals recovering from surgery. And as you all might know, might or might not know, we can't have those animals in too cold of an area. And before, it was one temperature for the entire facility. There was a lot of dead spots, too hot, too cold. And so with all of these individualized units for particular areas, it allows us to have more control remotely, especially through with facilities. And it's just, night and day. It was a 20-year-old system, and it was long overdue. So we're happy this is near the tail end. They are working on, a few punch list items that they need to button up. They're still working on test and balance, which is one of the final stages of an HVAC project, so that they can ensure that those areas are adequately heated and cooled appropriately, and everything is, as I mentioned before, you don't have those dead spots within the facility. So while this HVAC project was going on, we took full advantage of making some updates to our facility. As you all are well aware, we would have certain phases of the facility and areas shut down. It all started in ABC, and then we moved around the facility, shutting down different areas. And so while those areas were down and they didn't have animals in them or staff or the traffic going in and out through there, we took the advantage of updating a lot of our areas and providing a little bit more of a refreshed look to the campus. And so this is how the lobby used to look previously. We have a very, very colorful and vibrant theme to our colors, but we provided some updates just to make it more of a uniform look. So this is how our lobby looks now. I think it looks a lot more clean and aesthetic, appealing to the eyes. And also our administration team, they're working on updating that counter space so that it's clearly defined as far as where the public is to report when they walk into the lobby there. So that countertop will be ripped out and replaced in the coming months, just to give it a more professional, updated look. But we're very proud of the work that the staff did. Chief Kebschel mentioned all of the work, all of the adoptions that were done last month. But a lot of these staff were not only getting animals adopted and saving lives, but they were assisting with a lot of these projects that we got, that we were able to get accomplished over the course of the last year and a half. So, as Chief mentioned, very, very hardworking staff, and they're always willing to assist us on some of these other miscellaneous projects that we're wanting to get accomplished. This is our Sallyport area. You can kind of tell a little bit older fixtures, some of the same paint that we had previously, and we went ahead and updated this area as well. Brand new light fixtures, LED lights, refreshed paint, and resealed the floors as well. A couple of other enhancements that we provided. The south-facing kennels there at the facility, the ones that kind of face Fred Wilson and the highway there, those are in the sun all day long. So they get beat down quite a bit. And so, again, my amazing staff was able to get that shade structure, the shade cloth put up across the front of that so that we can provide not only shade for those animals that are in those kennels, but the people that are visiting the facility, looking in those windows. It allows a little bit of shade so that there's not so much glare bouncing back off of those windows. And then on the left-hand side, the far left picture, you'll see the old kind of dingy 20-year-old probably light fixtures as opposed to the brand new LED bright white. That allows the animals to be better seen also from the outside with the better light there in the kennels. Here's our cat adoptions. This one was a huge transformation. We also did, brand new paint, resealed the floors, and we kind of reorganized that space a little bit. You can see that we had the traditional purple and orange colors. Floor was looking a little dingy, as you can see there on the bottom right. And then just kind of real cluttered. Space and real estate is always at a premium there at our Fred Wilson location. And so you can see a bunch of stuff stored up top and just kind of a little disoriented. So here's our refresh as far as the space itself. All the painting and on the trim and the walls and the reseal of the floors, again, done by the staff. I don't know if you can see there or if you all were familiar with that big awkward sink that we had right in the very middle of the cat adoptions there. It's kind of over here in the center of the room. Well, we went ahead and ripped that out to give us more space. As you can see in this picture, there's no longer that big awkward sink there. And this is the finished product. Just looks night and day, more aesthetically pleasing. We've got all the cleaning supplies like the trash cans, the mop buckets, the litter boxes, the spare litter, the food, all of that kind of neatly tucked behind the kennels there on the left. If you can see that pole that comes down from the ceiling, that's our electrical pole, and everything's nicely, neatly tucked behind there. No more clutter up on top of the kennels. We're also working on getting some new kennels. These kennels are quite aged, and we're working with our purchasing department to get the updated kennels. Those kennels do come at a cost, and so we have to put those out for bid. But if any of you have been at Cats at the Zoo, we have some beautiful cat condos out there, and those are the ones that we're shooting for to have here within this space. And so that'll allow us, not only a more beautiful look, but to also put more animals in cat adoptions to display for adoption. Our famous sheds. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar, but we had sheds sprinkled throughout the northwest area of our property. And we're always needing to put stuff in, take stuff out. We had one shed that was on the bottom right on the west side of the facility. That's the pantry shed. Just storage sheds throughout. Because of that ponding project in the back, there's going to be a concrete pipe that's running from the back to that ponding area in the front. So they're going to be going right through where we had these sheds, and they needed to be relocated because of this project. So, we kind of had OPK going on. We had all those surgeries, all the staff on hand, getting those surgeries done. And then the very next week, we had to have this massive empty out all of these sheds and get them moved to another spot on the property. That spot is now in what is the employee parking lot on the easternmost side, and get a shot of them for you there. We've kind of like a shed row there, abutting our OK Kennels. And so, that was a huge move. Like I said, all of those sheds needed to be emptied. Everything needed to be stored temporarily while the moving crew would come in, lift up the sheds, whip them around on a truck, and then drop them to their present location there in the employee parking lot. That bottom picture with those pallets of food, staff would have to open up and load each and every single one of those bags one by one into those sheds. We would get those over to where they previously were, and it would take them a couple of hours to load up and store all of that food. We no longer have to do that now that we're on solid ground where the sheds sit now. We're able to forklift those pallets into the shed, and then once they're in the shed, maneuver them around into their final resting spot. And this saves us a lot of manual labor and just increases and eases our access to the supplies that we need on a daily basis. So that's all I have as far as the improvements that we did there at the shelter. To answer some of your questions regarding the ponding project itself. So the timeline for that, they just started 2 months ago, and they are supposed to have their substantial completion by the end of April. So pretty fast moving project. It's about a 300-day project, I want to say. And so they should be out of there 100% by the end of May. So when we're talking again about the rescue runner access and kind of stuff like that, we've got an alternative location, which Eileen kind of mentioned. I know it's not the best, but it's where we're at right now. We wish that we would never have to be inconvenienced, but in the sake of progression, it's something that needed to be done. Like Chief mentioned also, that additional space that we're going to gain in front of the Mountain View kennels has, we've got different ideas, whether it's additional parking for staff. And on the side of the facility, kind of between us and the Humane Society, you all have noticed a small ponding area there. That is slated for additional parking as well for the public. Parking's always an issue, especially when we have the bigger events. So we're hoping we can get those parking areas done sooner than later. But that's not to say that is 100% set in stone. If y'all have any other ideas as far as what we can do, we're absolutely open to hearing your ideas. And but yeah, I think I answered your questions as far as timeline. Here's Slim. Slim's been with us since January. If y'all want to kind of mention him on your socials or anything like that, he needs a home. He's very lovable, very friendly, and has a very nice smile, as you can see in that top right picture. He's out with the rescue runners, and he's going on a year with us. So if y'all are always asking for that help, help us get Slim adopted. If y'all have any questions, I'm happy to take those now, please.
Thanks, Adam. When you're saying they for the folks there doing the ponding project, you're talking about El Paso Water?
Correct. El Paso Water is kind of giving us some real estate back. They deepened the Humane Society side of that pond, so that would allow us to have kind of some of our property back. And so now we get to work and decide what it is that we're going to do with it. But it is an El Paso Water project.
Yeah, just to clarify for folks, it's not a project that the city controls. It's a El Paso Water Public Service Board project. So, we do have to abide by the decisions they make on their property.
Just to kind of give you an idea, kind of had the aerial shot up. Can you all see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, down along about this line right here, there's going to be a new rock wall. So from this point all the way over to where the Mountain View and OK kennels are, we're going to gain all of this real estate back, as well as all of this. These two units that are here, those are the old chiller units from the old 20-year-old system. Those have been removed by the contractor that was working on the HVAC project. We put two of the sheds on that concrete pad, but we've got a big chunk of space back here that we're going to be working with, and a new freed up area here. So again, this could potentially be parking for staff, since we're kind of limited here. We're always kind of fighting for spaces with Sun Metro next door. So this could potentially be that additional parking for staff. And then down here where this ponding area is, this could be parking for the public. As you can see, there a good 20 to maybe 30 slots would fit in there, parking spaces. So that's something that to definitely talk about, see if we can get that funding sooner than later for that project. Maybe we shoot for FY26. Just kind of put that on in that bug in your ear, Rep Canales. But yeah, it is an El Paso water project.
All right. Any other questions for them? Don't see any hands going up. Okay, thank you, Terry and Ivan for the presentation. That was pretty comprehensive.
Thank you.
All right, we had just the one item in section 5 today. We'll move to item number 6. This is the call for future agenda items. I'll say the same thing I say every time. You are more than welcome to, between now and the posting deadline for the next meeting, send agenda items you'd like on the agenda either to Maribel or to myself, ideally to both of us. But otherwise, we're happy to take any ideas or any items you'd like to see on the agenda right now. Anybody who has something they would like to post? Again, you can send them to us by email anytime in the next handful of weeks.
I'd like to say something just briefly. I'm so, I know I don't want to waste y'all's time, but I'm so impressed on everything that's being done. Having been on the committee 40 years ago when there wasn't a committee and it just started, it's night and day. I mean, just the people working on it. There's love for animals that was absent in the facility 40 years ago, and just everything that I'm in awe. It's almost too good to be true to hear all the stuff that Terry said. I just want to thank everyone that's done all this work to make the animals more cared for in El Paso, and I can't tell you how different it is from what it was. It's really wonderful, you all. I'm proud to be part of the group. So I just wanted to say that. It's incredible.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. It seems like everybody who's working at the shelter is always working hard and striving for more. So
yeah, it's great.
I've been very proud too.
Thanks.
All right, I don't hear any other agenda items. The last item is number 7, adjournment. The next meeting is scheduled for December 11th, 2024. We don't quite have a holiday break, so we will have a December meeting. And it is scheduled for the same time as always, 6:00 p.m. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, a motion from Eileen. Is there a second?
A second it.
Okay,
Second.
second from Mary. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I hear none. The meeting is adjourned at 6:59 p.m. Look at that, right on time.
Wow. Good night, everyone.
Thank you all. Good night.
Bye.
Have a blessed day.
You too.